Time is 6:32. This is a business committee meeting. We're at 201 Lindenwood. Item A, number 1, approval of monthly disbursement.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Molina. The Division of Finance has presented you all with the disbursements for the month of December. I don't know if at this time you have any questions.
No questions.
Number 2, approval of budget amendments.
Yes, sir. Mr. Rodriguez, we have a good budget amendment here. We got our latest summary of finance. It's the last form that, or last calculation that we get from TEA. And it already had an increase in our property value, so it showed an additional 8.297 or an $8.3 million increase in revenue. So we're bringing that to the board for your approval. But we also wanted to throw in from our health insurance fund some additional expenses because some of the billing comes in very late in the year. So just in case we get a couple of $1 million worth of claims, we just want to allocate some of the funds. But the majority of it, the $4.7 million, will dip into fund balance at the end of the year.
That's good.
And this is for the last fiscal year as of August 31st.
Okay.
I know before he goes any further, I just want to remind the board that that almost 8.3 million really obviously was the effort of a whole lot of UISD employees, but the one that really took the lead was LIDA. And of course our representatives, Senator Safedini, Senator Hinojosa from the Valley, Representative Richard Raymond, Representative Tracy King, and Ryan Guillen made a big difference in helping us be able to get some funds. We never thought we'd be able to get some money back from the state because of our lost values. But almost 8.3 million is
good.
Is very good. So again, we will have a function, I think it's October the 26th, at the SAC for noon, to be able to recognize all these legislators that helped us be able to get these funds.
I'd like to thank Lyda and all the staff and, everybody that came through, because I know it wasn't easy getting the money from these people, it's pretty hard.
It was a 2-year effort, again, the finance department, Sunia, Sam, and I know at RN, Gloria, and I know Alex, my secretary, and Delia did all these projects, and I know through Gloria Rendon's communication department did really outstanding maps that people would be able to see, and it was throughout the whole state, all the way to West Texas, Amarillo, Midland, Odessa, also in East Texas. So I think that made a huge difference for us.
How about the state? They never came through with that money that they were gonna.
That-
No,
this-
the other for the rate.
Oh, no, the races, no,
Oh,
sir.
that didn't come.
No, sir, that never happened.
No, that's just for the record because.
For the record, you're right.
They were
The
asking-
raises that we gave was because of the board members came out of UISD. Yes, sir.
And they said they were gonna wait for the state, see if it better, just for the record, make sure that the state didn't give any
You're
money.
correct.
so,
For the record, the state did not give us a single penny for funding for teacher pay raises.
Well, I hope everybody gets recognized, that we can put some of the employees.
We will, yes.
Employees, and I'm pretty sure the elected officials also
Absolutely, yes, sir.
have put in part. Number 3, approval of outstanding embraces.
Yes, sir. This is an annual entry that we do. Obviously, when you close 1 year, you have a lot of purchase orders or commitments of orders from various departments and campuses that we haven't had a chance to either receive the items or pay them. If you look at the history, we usually run about $5 million, so we're right there consistent with the amount of money that we transfer from 1 year to the next. And this is able to actually pay for these items and not affect anybody's current budget. So as you approve this item, you're going to approve not only that we're able to pay for the items when we receive them, but you're actually adding to the budget of $5.5 million. So there will be zero impact on the campuses and departments' current operating budgets. There's a small breakdown. You could see, I know it's 5.5 million, but really about 53% of it is the construction, the non-bond construction that's going on at Alexander, which is the first line item of close to $2 million. And kind of towards the middle of the page, there's another $1 million, almost $1 million. And it's mainly all the renovations that the board are committed to increase the facilities there at Alexander High School. I don't know if you have any questions in specific to, if you reviewed the listing of the POs or,
Ms. Molina?
okay.
No
Thank
questions.
you.
Number 4, discussion of and possible action to recommend the Board of Trustees approval guarantee maximum price for the design of construction of the the 31st Elementary School at Las Lomas del Sur Cuatro Vientos subdivision.
Before we start, it was a typo at our end, and it really should be the 30th elementary, not 31st.
30th.
We'll correct it for the regular board meeting.
Okay.
They're ready to build the 31st, and they're good.
That'll be the Coves. This one is for Salinas, yes, sir.
Administration recommends to award the guaranteed maximum price for the design and construction of the 4th elementary school of the 2003 bond construction program at the Lomas del Sur Cuatro Vientos subdivision in the amount of $16,826,662.43. In addition, for your consideration, there are two alternates that are going to be presented. Alternate 1 in the amount of $19,200 is to provide a 16-inch wide brick pavers between the gymnasium and the administrative area and the courtyard as leading up to the gym at the school. And alternate 2 is $46,500 to provide concrete dye at the balance of the courtyard area.
Any
Thank you.
questions? Mr. Rodriguez, this is a school.
Yes, I know this, I was just going to mention that this is going to alleviate a lot of problems for
A
us.
lot
It's gonna
of,
help.
actually Salinas will be able to
Yes.
move the students. We
How
don't have a
close is
name
gonna
for the
be to
school.
Salinas?
Sir?
How close is the,
It's not, this is probably about a block and a half, 2 blocks from United South ninth grade campus. So probably from Salinas, maybe about 7, 8
well, it's
blocks.
going to be,
Oh, yes.
And Mr. Molina, I think most of the parents, I think, or the people that live around there, I mean, they know what's going to happen and they know the transaction that they're going to still have to commute over there, but they're willing to even commute at this point in time.
Brand new campus.
especially
brand
with
new
all
campus,
the
yes.
concerns that they have right now
Yes.
about the other schools.
Yes.
And just a point of interest, just a side note, we did take this to the Bond Oversight Committee last week, and they did unanimously approve moving the recommendation forward to include the 2 alternates, so they're well aware of it. And again, it's a prototype. All the changes that we've paid for through contingency and veterans and freedom have already been moved to the construction portion of the guaranteed maximum price, but we have reestablished the contingency back to $400,000 again. So you'll see a slight increase for the time being over previous schools. You'll see right here. We're confident that the use of the contingency will be minimal.
That's good. Thank you
They're
very
still
much,
keeping a good average on the price,
Absolutely.
which is good.
Very good price.
as big as they are, I saw one of the new ones, the roof in the library, real fancy stuff, pretty good design.
Very nice. Yes.
As you see here, the construction, the cost for construction only, without the design fees and so on, is about $130 a square foot. And the RS means, which is a guide that we use to determine whether the pricing is correct, is about $152. So we're doing
More
very
or
well.
less, yeah, it's good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
When is it supposed to, finish this?
Well, we anticipate that hopefully next December, a year from this December, we'll be able to move staff and students, so January, when they come back, they should be at a brand
So
new.
it should be a good Christmas.
If we're going to be ready for the school year, probably not, but.
Well, it'll be ready in the middle of the year. Yes, because they'll start construction once the board approves it. So probably January of 19.
As long as there's no rain and all that good stuff.
Well,
Pero,
that's-
yes,
yes,
still, it's pretty fast.
They are putting it on a fast pace. It's
Yeah.
a 12-month deal. Normally 16.
Thank you.
Item number 5, discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of CPS CSP 051-2017 main security stations upgrade at various UISD campuses.
The guardhouses? Those are the
Yes.
guardhouses, right?
Yes, these are the guardhouses, yes.
Administration recommends the award of CSP 015-2017 main security stations and upgrades at various UISD campuses. These are the 34 remaining campuses to complete this project to AOC Carlton DBA Summit Building and Design in the amount of $1,579,613, which includes $70,000 contingency. We have Randy Hollis here from Munoz and Company to just give you a little brief overview of the design.
Good evening, trustees, superintendent. Pleased to present this design, which has received the proposal and is ready to start construction upon y'all's approval. I do want to introduce Luis Amada, who is our project manager for this project. He'll be up here with me. Okay. We've designed these stations, security stations, at 34 schools throughout the district. In addition to the phase 1 that we did and completed 7 prototypes for the elementary school, we've now covered 41 existing schools district-wide with this program. Completion date is set for December 28th, 2018. The proposal price is $1,579,613 and includes the allowance of $70,000 for all of these. That's an average cost of $46,441, which we feel is a good number. The reason is also a good number is that we have added, which we learned in the phase 1, all of these stations will be air conditioned. We've added ceiling fans for the comfort of the security officers that will be there. These are in essence complete security offices, very efficiently designed because they have the Raptor system for access checking of people coming in the school. We'll have monitors where the officers can check security cameras throughout the campus. And in the upper levels, there will be metal detectors at the doors. One big feature that we're doing in most of these where we can is creating man traps. There'll be security access control at the front door and at the back door. And unless the security officer approves the person coming in through the front, he'll have a second line of defense to secure against the back. In addition, when the officer's not there, both of these doors, there is a intercom up here at the front, and so both doors can be controlled from the reception, which they are now. So there is that backup. It'll never be without that access control at these schools. This is the second prototype. We took a prototypical approach for cost efficiency, so we have 2 major prototypes. This one here is in between existing vestibules, and we created the station in between the entry doors and what will become the exit doors. We have 9 situations that are not suitable for prototypes, so they're custom designed. This one here at Newman Elementary, we borrowed space in the library next to the entry. We created a new storage room because that was an existing storage room actually. So they haven't lost the storage in the library, and that's the location for that. These Clark Elementary School, this is created inside the existing corridor, which runs this way. Likewise, at Salinas, you can see a booth that's set up in that location. Okay, over here at Pettis, this is a space that was an existing storeroom / they were using it for some office space, but it's usable, so we grabbed that space. At this school, some of these schools in these series, the corridors are very narrow, so we had to borrow space adjacent to the corridors. There wasn't room to put it inside the corridor. This one here at Troutman 6th grade campus, again, we found a room to do it. We can't do the man trap here because these are the restrooms for the students, and you can't have the students going in and out of the secure space. This is where we've added an additional space adjacent the existing vestibule, so you do have your man trap that is still in effect. We're adding hardware on all of the existing doors in the man trap scenarios. This is at LBJ High School. This is in the big lobby space, and it's right next to administration, so you have a good control point here. This is at Alexander 9th grade campus. Of course, this is a big campus with a lot of different facilities. This is the best entry point that we have in the cafetorium, and so we've grabbed space next to the existing vestibule that's there right now and enlarged that vestibule to make it more functional. And then the final one here at United High School, again, this is in the big lobby space, and it's next to administration. And the officer here, these are existing doors that will have new hardware on them for access control that he will control. And that's the summary of the scope of the work that we've done.
All our schools are going to have
Yes, sir.
all of them. Right?
All of them. This will be the last phase of the schools. Yes, sir.
That's good.
And again, being that this can be paid with the bond proceeds, we took it to the Bond Oversight Committee last week, and they unanimously approved it.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Randy.
Very fancy.
Thank you, Randy.
Item number 6, approval of awarding bids, proposals, and qualifications.
Good evening. We have the following for your consideration. RFP 070-2017, food bagging supplies to Econopack and Plascar Packaging, Inc. RFP 068-2017, surveillance camera and access controls Phase 2. This is a bond project that was also presented to the Bond Oversight Committee. The recommended vendor is M1 Networks in the amount of $2,580,985. RFP 069-2017, welding equipment, supplies, and services to Prax Air. And that's it for tonight.
Molina. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Number 7, approval of sales of salvage equipment.
Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Molina, Mr. Santos, members of the audience. At this point, we bring before you the request for approval for our sale of our salvage equipment through a proposed live auction to be held at our Gale facility on Saturday, October 28. Attaches also a list of the items that we are planning to take for sale. I just want to bring up that we need to remove a couple of line items from there that actually stayed within the district as transfers, and we will be submitting that list tomorrow so that it is presented at the board meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Number 8, approval of request of board members, discretionary funds.
Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Molina, in addition to the requests that are included in your packet, there's about, I believe, 4 or 5 more I'd like to read into the record. Request from Prada Elementary, Raquel Alvarado, the principal, sponsored by Mr. Ricardo Molina, campus beautification and student incentives in the amount of $5,000. From United Middle School, Ms. Rebecca Morales, principal, sponsored by Mr. Javier Montemayor, $2,000 for PBIS and perfect attendance teacher-student incentives. From John B. Alexander, a magnet for health science, Mr. Ernesto Sandoval Jr., principal, sponsored by Elisa Flores Oliveros. Travel monies for students to go to a cadaver lab in Bulverde, Texas. Students will do hands-on with human cadavers, $3,000. John B. Alexander High School, campus principal Ernesto Sandoval, sponsored by Elisa Flores Oliveros. Civil engineering and structural engineering consultants for the Alexander High School fence. The amount of request is $15,000. United Middle School, Ms. Rebecca Morales, sponsored by Mr. Ricardo Molina, purchase of STEM curriculum program, including professional development and technology. Amount is $8,000. From federal programs, requester Dr. Alicia Carrillo and Nora Murillo, sponsored by Mr. Ricardo Rodriguez and Mr. Ricardo Molina. Monies to be used for different federal program activities such as Parent Learning Summit, McKinney Vito, migrant students, toy drives, shopping spree, and back-to-school haircuts. It's $1,000 each for a total of $2,000.
Questions? Item B, number 1, Financial Division Monthly Financial Report.
Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Molina, members of the audience, Mr. Santos. We bring to you our September 30th finance report. There it is. At this point, we have, on September 30th, we had over $229.5 million in cash and investment. 101 is general fund. Our debt service is $4 million, and then bond election or bond money is $12.3 million from our 2014 issue, $21.1 million from our 2015 issue, and $89.9 million from our 2017 issue. 6% of our total portfolio is in demand accounts, and those are the rates now. Now, you can see they're over 1%. They used to be 0 point something, but 123 and 114 is our current rates. Our budget has an administrative cost ratio of 8.44. To date, at September 30th, we're at 8.47. Our unaudited statements, from a budget of $353.5 million, we've recognized $46.5 million in revenues, or 13.16% of our budget. Last year at this time, we were at 11%. And then our expenditures are $44.4 million, a percentage of 12.57%, and the prior year, we're at 11.5%. Our tax office report, our current collection rate is 99.03%, 168.5 million has been collected. This coming, I think October 1st, right, we start our new levy. So this is really still based on the taxes we were collecting last year. And then compared to the year before, we were at 99.13%, or 193.9 million. We did mail statements sometime last week, no, actually 2 weeks ago, to our taxpayers. Over 95,000 accounts of tax statements got mailed to our taxpayers, just in case y'all got any questions about that. Purchasing report has all bids and proposals awarded through September 30th, and then the grants report area has the activity in that department for this past month. So I don't know if anybody has any specific questions.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Guys.
Public comments?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.